And here we go.
All right, welcome to the Park and Rec meeting for April 3rd. We have a few issues to discuss. I apologize, my daughter and I have competing Zoom meetings right now, so if you hear her preschool in the background, nothing I can do about it, I'm sorry. Just a couple notes before we get started. The meeting's being recorded on Zoom. If there's any public here, we'll just ask you to introduce yourself. Keep your video off and your microphone muted while you attend this virtual meeting. If there's questions or anything you want to ask of us, feel free to ask, and we will happy to take any public comments. I don't see anyone from the public joining us, so I think that's a moot point. Okay, so I think that's it as far as public service announcements. Our agenda, we're called to order at 11:06. We're dealing with the resignation of John Kazanjian from the commissioners. We need to discuss Board of Selectmen's vote on the town playgrounds and request for a roll call vote to support this
That's
decision.
the old one.
March 19th, that's correct, sorry.
So this one it's just the two things. We've got the approval to hire recreation and sports program coordinator candidate, and the request to support unemployment requests for part-time employees that have lost hours due to the cancellation of programs because of COVID-19 pandemic. That was it.
Okay.
I thought we were going to discuss the icons as well.
It's not on the agenda, but that's something that you can bring up.
Okay.
Yeah, we can discuss that quick afterwards. All right, sorry. I don't know. The agenda I was looking at, I think. Oh, no. All right, never mind. Sorry about that. All right, so John Kazanjian is resigning from the Park and Rec Commission so he can pursue personal yeah, go, Alyssa.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm not sure what should be.
I don't believe I got an agenda, so I
did send them out. So the first part of it is the approval to hire the Parks and Rec program sports coordinator. So that was the reason that John did resign, is that he'd like to come back to that position. So the position has been posted for 2 weeks. He has applied. He was the only applicant, and so we would like to hire him back as that position. I am not the hiring authority for this, so that is something that I need approval from the Park Commission to bring him back. Thank you, Tim.
Okay. So the question that I had in my mind when I'm happy we're going to take John back. I think it's a no-brainer. We posted it for 2 weeks. I'm just wondering why we had like hundreds of applicants last time and only one this time.
Yep.
And I just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
In that regard.
Yep. So we posted it on the town website. When we got the hundreds last time, that was something that we really actively, aggressively got the information out there. So this time, we just had it posted for the 2 weeks. That was it. We didn't really advertise the heck out of it. We followed the law as we were supposed to, and that's why it's been posted for 2 weeks on the town website. So that's the difference, is we didn't go crazy of really advertising it. Tim? You're mute.
Sorry. One thing also, Mike, to just kind of industry-wide, park and rec, aquatics, everything else, the major hiring season when people are actually looking for jobs is typically January, February, March. So most of those, as we saw, we get a lot of applicants. Case in point, when I came to you guys, I was looking in that time frame because that's when all the jobs are posted in the park and rec things, because people are front loading for the summertime. They want to get their higher end employees in to hire their summer staff. So a lot of the people who might have applied before have probably already either settled on something or negotiated a contract for the summer by this point. Statistically, that's the way that it is. You can find that data just by doing a Google search to back that up.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were following the rules, same rules we followed last time, and that we, as a commission, don't, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I can't see, if we could have had 500 applicants, and I can't see taking anyone other than John, considering the job he's already done for us. So, who we hire isn't the issue. I just want to make sure, like I said, that we, did everything according to our town rules and whatever laws need to be followed. So I'm satisfied with what I've heard.
Okay.
All right. So I'm looking through my emails. I don't think you did send an agenda, so I'm going blind here. So let us know what you need from us in this regard.
Okay. Tim, do you want to pop that back up? Tim, can you pop that back up?
Yes, Alicia, I'm just making sure that there's nothing else showing on my screen. I had some other windows open for projects I'm working on for work.
Projects.
There you go.
All right. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the hire of John Kazanjian as the Recreation and Sports Program Coordinator.
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of John Kazanjian for the sports program coordinator.
Second. All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Oh, actually, sorry, we need to do roll call vote on these virtual meetings. So, Mike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Fred?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
I am an aye as well, so that's unanimous. All right. I was just going to read what was next on the agenda, but I no longer can see it.
I'm coming back. Sorry. There you go.
Okay. There is a request to support unemployment request for part-time employees that have lost hours due to the cancellation of programs because of the COVID-19 pandemic. All right. Any more
So I'll
information?
talk to that a little bit if that's all right.
Yep.
So this is something that our HR department wanted us to do and just be on record for it. So we did have some part-time employees that were program-based, program aides, and then also for our April vacation that will lose hours because we've had to cancel programs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we wanted to be able to go on record that we are going to support if they choose to move forward to get unemployment hours for the time that they've lost.
Okay. Does the town cover that, or will that come out of our budget? Do they file unemployment like they typically would?
So yeah, so they would file for unemployment through the state. It's just by us doing this, we just make the process easier for them, so that we're saying that we are going to support. We're not going to fight them for going after those hours. That's something that we can't control the situation at all. If we had our druthers, we'd be able to run our programs as per normal and allow them to have those hours. But unfortunately, the situation that we are in at this point in time, we're not able to do that.
Right. Okay. They have no. I guess how many part-time workers do we have that would fit this criteria?
So right now, I think there's like 9. The majority of them would be the RISE program aides, and they usually get like 8 hours a week, somewhere around there. And then we also have 5 that were on the payroll to be able to work for April vacation. So those folks as well, they don't typically work for us on a weekly basis, but they would have put in hours for that week.
Are these the same people like counselors you might have at Camp T?
Some are similar. Yep. Some do that work. Yep.
Okay. I mean, I don't really see any problem with doing this. If it makes it easier for them, and it's not going to affect, I mean, quite frankly, if it did affect our bottom line, I would probably still support it. We'd, maybe figure out how to do the best, but it doesn't appear that it's going to, so I don't see any issue with this unless anyone else does.
The one thing I will add is Bree is one of those people, Mike. So I would probably ask you to not vote on this one since you do.
Mike Lavasser.
Yeah, there's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, but she's not, I don't think she was slated to work this April vacation, right? Or am I wrong?
I think so. We had her on payroll. So
Okay.
yeah, I think she might have been.
Okay.
All right, so we'll ask Mike to not vote on this particular motion. All right, so unless there's any further discussion, I'd be happy to entertain a motion to support the unemployment benefits of part-time employees for Park and Rec.
I move that we support the unemployment benefits for part-time employees.
I second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, Fred, how do you vote?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
I'm also an aye, so that is, we're all set there. Is there anything else on the official agenda?
That's it.
All right, so I did want to discuss quickly the egg hunt that Tim has organized. I think it's a great idea for the community to, for departments like us and other town entities to try to, do what we can to keep the community together in situations like this. So I applaud Tim's initiative in getting that done. I think there are some concerns. I would just like Tim to kind of maybe explain what, more in depth what the idea is. And, if anyone has any questions or concerns, we can hear them.
All right. So as you guys know, we've been on kind of a downward trend of canceling all of our special events. So far, we've canceled the egg hunt, we canceled the community cleanup, and as of Thursday, I postponed Touch a Truck, probably out into going to become a fall event this year, most likely if we can pull it off.
Can you move forward, Tim? Sorry.
Yeah, you're dropping off.
So basically, what we were doing is we've had weekly meetings and weekly update meetings with the Massachusetts Northeast region Park and Recs. So anywhere from 20 to about 30 directors and assistant directors pulling together and brainstorming ideas. I do have copies of those recordings if you'd like to see them. As the Northeast Regional Chair, I'm currently holding that position. I've been compiling all the data in an Excel sheet for all of the Park and Recs in the Northeast region for what we're doing. So I am going to share my screen here for just a minute. If you guys quickly do a search, just a Google search of social distancing hunts, basically around, the entire country. This is something that's really going on. So, there's tons of news stories about it. There's different things. Most recently, the big thing was the bear hunt. I know that they're doing that over here in Chelmsford where people are putting a bear in their windows. St. Patrick's Day, the community themselves in Littleton kind of put together the national trend of a shamrock in your window to see who could count the most shamrocks. So what we're attempting to do, in doing this is take an event that we already had and how can we do it with something that people are already doing, right? I'm sure if you look out your window, with the exception of, the weather's been horrible days, there's more people walking, more people running than you've ever seen in your life. And, as far as the issue, advisory that was sent out by the state of Massachusetts, it's nobody in groups of more than 10 and, stay 6 feet away, keep your distance. And, we can't stress that enough that those are the rules. And you shouldn't be going out and doing these things with anybody but the people that you're actually staying at home advising. So if you're in your house right now, who are those people who are with you? Those are the people that we're asking. The other thing is, if you want to go out and take a drive, you don't necessarily have to walk. You can be in the confinement of your car to do this. It just gives people something to do. So what we asked people to do was create a cardboard egg. Also takes an hour or two, depending on how elaborate you want to get, of art and craft project time for families to do. And you could do as many eggs as you had people in your family, and you put them on different windows of your house or on your door. If you wanted to go the extra mile and create something that was weatherproof, put something that you could put in your dooryard of your house. And then based off of what we're going to start doing now that the egg registrations have been rolling in this week, we're going to start putting daily challenges, like find as many blue eggs as you can today, or whoever can find the most eggs over the course of the day, just to do little fun events. So that is also going to tie in with our event that we launched yesterday, or our initiative we launched yesterday, the hashtag quarantine. So we're asking families to take a picture. We made a crazy picture that we put together of all of us in different uniforms. I'm not sure if anybody had an opportunity to see it. But basically, we want the families to compete as teams and do these daily games and interactions and cook-offs and things like that. The other piece is we're going to give bonus points for people who sign up for the Mad Science classes and the Zumba classes and stuff we're offering through the Community Connection. People bonus points if they're going out and doing some of the other things on the conservation website and the Elder and Human Services website, just to create that complete sense of community, that even though we're still all apart, that we're doing something that's together, and you're still able to interact and have competitions. And just because your kids can't necessarily be with their best friend on the soccer, lacrosse, or baseball field, they can still have that competitive fun thing going on by all this stuff that we're going to be putting together. So that's kind of what I have prepared. I'll open it up to questions or comments in regards to this.
I applaud trying to think out of the box. I like the idea of an egg hunt and decorating eggs. I have an issue with saying, making it something that's town-wide and having folks, go into neighborhoods that, they're not a part of. There are guidelines that the Governor Baker put in place that that he's talked about during his press conferences about staying at home and going out when necessary. I understand that, just give me a second here. I have a phone call coming in. I understand social distancing guidelines, but, I'm also concerned about, how everybody will take this, and, sort of, follow those rules. I think everybody, I don't think it's a stretch to say not everyone follows them. So if I had to propose something along those lines, I probably would do something like, making competitive, like folks are doing this in their home, decorating, maybe having that egg hunts, in their yards, and posting video or pictures, on Facebook, on Lilton's Facebook. And if you want to make it, something that is competitive in nature, what were you thinking along those lines? How were you going to make it competitive?
As far as that's what I just explained. So, there'll be different points awarded for the different challenges that are put up. And, we've put up on our social media. I don't know how much you've been following it, or if you've, looked at all the stuff that we've been doing all week, but, there's different things. There's the hashtag Stay Connected 01460. There's the hashtag Stay Fit 01460. There's the hashtag quarantine. There's the community connections page that Alicia put together. That's, incredible. with, everything from conservation to human services to our stuff.
You're dropping out, Tim. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
So there's, everything from all the
I did
hashtags.
hear at the beginning, but just.
There's the community connection where everything's tied together, that Alicia put up this week. And I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see it or have followed our Facebook page and stuff like that to see some of this stuff. But, there's each person in charge of it, whether it be us, conservation, human services, if people are involved in doing any of these things, whether it be the egg hunt, whether it be the Zuma class, whether it be whatever, we're going to associate a point value with that so people can just have that sense of community and that sense of, camaraderie and competition if they want to do so.
So, I mean, that's something that we could do then, So it's not like we're saying, what do they get with points? I guess that's the question I have. Is it just a competitive,
Bragging rights?
Yeah, bragging
Their
rights.
friends, whoever they decide to participate with.
Okay. So this is something you could do, based on taking pictures and video and posting it and keeping it, a little bit more confined, in the spirit of, like I said, guidelines that we've gotten from.
So just to be clear, we're not operating with any guidelines that have been issued by local, state, or federal government.
What do you mean? I've heard guidelines that stay at home and just leave for essentials, right?
Mike, have you seen more or less traffic? I don't know what neighborhood you live in, but have you seen more or less foot traffic in your neighborhood of late?
I've seen more traffic. I would say in places that I'm very surprised. I rarely have seen. There's much more of an uptick, let's say, in conservation land.
And I think the idea of that is, I've seen probably, I'd say 5-6-fold, people walking around my neighborhood that I've never seen before. People are just walking neighborhoods because that's all there is to do. So I think by putting an egg in your window, people checking it out, checking your address off, I don't envision people
I don't
going
see
in
people.
groups of more than, what's recommended to go and find eggs in windows in particular neighborhoods. They're going to walk around. If they're not walking around that neighborhood on a particular day, they'll walk around their own or ones near them that they would have done anyways.
I don't. So to answer your question, I don't see people outside of my neighborhood in my neighborhood. I see mostly families that I know that are in my neighborhood walking.
Yeah. So like I said, I've seen a lot of people that I've never seen walk my neighborhood walking over the last 2 weeks, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. I just, the social distancing thing is if you're walking by someone's house, there's no, I don't see the issue. Hold on 1 second.
My opinion is the governor this morning had said that he encourages people to get outside and get some fresh air. They were closing the beaches for the parking because they didn't want people to violate the social distancing, but he encouraged people to get outside. So if people are outside and they're staying in their small groups and they're staying at the appropriate distance apart, I don't have any problem with them walking around the town. I don't think they're going to spread any coronavirus or catch it if they're following the distancing guidelines and doing it outside.
I can say I've seen people that are not families walking together and they're not following social guidelines. So I've seen that.
We're not going to stop that.
They're adults.
Yeah.
So
one thing you already said, Mike, right, is you said you've seen a lot more impact on the conservation areas and the hiking trails than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this on the flip side of the coin. We're creating opportunities to spread people out. Right now, they only have certain places to go. So maybe if they're going and walking the section that they've never walked before just to go and find these eggs, you're creating other opportunities and creating a larger area for people to maybe take these walks in that they wouldn't have thought about. I'm just, throwing other ideas out there and what the whole kind of...
I can get it, but I've also been on social media and I have seen posts where people have been upset that, and I haven't seen many people, let's say, outside of that I recognize that I don't, but I definitely know that there have been groups that have been in the neighborhood that aren't abiding by the guidelines, and there've been posts on it. that I've seen on Facebook. So, and it's caused an uproar because, there's an elderly population and they're concerned, more concerned.
I'm going to be really honest about this. If you see that happening, you should be calling the police. The police are the ones that are going to enforce that. No one's going to break that up. No one should be having these big group get-togethers. And if that is something that is being seen in the public, please call the police department. That is one of the things they are charged to take care of right now. And
Wasn't
like
the guy?
said,
Suggestion right now, it's a guideline.
I understand that. And as adults, people have the right to make bad decisions. And
It's not just adults, it's kids, as well. So.
I understand that. And that is why I am saying call the police. It's not your responsibility to break it up. It's not our responsibility to break it up. It's the responsibility of the police to go in and let them know what the guidelines are and that
I can speak for others and how they approach it. So
say that again.
I can't speak for others and how they want to approach it with Facebook. I'm just saying what I've seen.
Yeah, and I'm giving you an answer on how to deal with that.
I think that's something that's important to kind of look at here because, as elected officials, you're speaking for not just yourself, but you're speaking for the people of the town. And, we've had nothing but a positive response on this. We've gotten probably 15 to 20 emails a day with people sending in their pictures. It's been shared, I think, almost a dozen times by different groups like the PTA and Littleton Trails and all this kind of stuff, as has the hashtag Stay Connected. I think since I put it up last night at 5:30, the hashtag quarantine thing has been shared over a dozen times. So what my point is we need to make decisions based off of what is the community asking for and what is the community saying. And I haven't seen any of that negative pushback. And as a commissioner, I would ask that you make your decisions based off of what people are asking and have people physically or written to you or asked you and said, hey, this is an issue in my neighborhood. Can we please stop it?
I don't fully agree with that, but
So I would just say that, activities like this is exactly what people are doing to keep their sanity. My son was invited to a birthday parade yesterday. We're going to hang out at his teammate's house next Saturday in our cars, wave to the kid. Like, this is what people are doing now, walking around neighborhoods. I don't see anything that, I don't see anything that this activity does that's going to either necessarily increase the number of times people walk around the neighborhood with each other. If parents are letting their kids play with other kids, that's up to them. We as a commission, having this egg hunt isn't going to prevent that. If we didn't have it, it's not going to prevent that.
But we're
having it isn't going to encourage that either. That's up to people's own personal responsibility. We have one kid in our neighborhood that I've been letting my son play with, and that's my decision. That's our family's decision. That's their family's decision to allow it. That's what people are doing. I don't see going around a neighborhood looking for eggs in windows as any sort of issue or going against any guidelines that the governor or our town has put out. From what I understand, it's groups of 10 or less, right? It doesn't say, granted, besides that one thing that we're doing to, allow my son to play with his friend, my family stays at home. That's our decision. But if you wanted to go associate with 9 other people, there's nothing anybody can really do about it that I can tell. I mean, I wouldn't do it. It's not my decision. That's not how I would, want my family behaving in this situation. But, I don't think we should be making decisions because we think people might do something that we don't necessarily agree with.
But we're sort of putting people in that position where they make that decision. I just don't think
they can participate or not.
Yes, but the people that are in the neighborhoods, I gave you an example of, we're basically saying this is something that this is an event that we're running as Park and Rec, okay? You're going to have kids, possibly, hypothetically, and you're right, it's not our decision, it's parents. Those kids are going to go into the neighborhood, they're going to hang out, walk around, You could have
I don't see that.
an elderly couple walking in that neighborhood, and now they have to contend with that. So
I mean,
Conversely to that, Mike, too,
Yeah.
one of the things, and I don't have it right in front of me, and I'll try to find it and I'll send it to you, but, you know, when the teddy bear challenge started out, it was on the news, and there was an elderly woman who had put all of these teddy bears in there, and you know, her intention was, you know, she kind of wanted to do this because she made it a thing, and she went and sat on her porch every single day because that was the only opportunity she had to interact with people, was her sitting on her porch and people walking by and saying hello, and because her family lives out of state and they don't have any, you know, she didn't have any other human contact, but the fact that people were taking the time to walk past her house to see, you know, the different bears she was putting out. So you know, it does kind of, it does have a positive aspect to that as well. You know, if people, even if they want to sit in their house and wave out the window or something, you know, I understand that your concerns. I, you know, agree with what Mike has to say, and I was concerned about that as well. But at the end of the day, I think the people who are going to make good decisions are going to make good decisions, and the people who are going to make bad decisions are going to make them regardless of if they're looking for eggs or if they're just looking for something else to do.
yeah, I agree with that. For what it's worth, I did reach out to Selectman DeCoste, asked him what he thought about the program, and he said he has no issue with it. I did intend on reaching out to some other selectmen, but I forgot. So, for whatever that's worth. So, I don't know if we need to discuss it anymore. I think Mike clearly has some issues with it. I haven't heard issues. You know, I think Sean is okay with it. Doesn't seem like
I
that
don't
has any
see
issues.
anything about this that encourages people to do things that they wouldn't do any otherwise. I've got
That's where
probably
I'm at.
80 people a day walking in front of my house to get to the head of the trail. I mean, based on Mike's thing, I should block it off with my car because they're in my neighborhood. You know, I have to go out in my yard and do things for people walking by. I'm fine with it. We don't get in contact and they stay away from me.
Yeah, and I do think the one positive, and Tim mentioned it, the one positive aspect of doing this is it could thin out the trails a little bit, which, you know, you go to any of the trails at this point, the parking lots are jammed. So, you know, and, you know, not that that's, I was at Oak Hill and the parking lot was jammed, and I think I saw 2 people the whole time we were there. So, you know, people are doing, that's what they're doing, going for walks. That's, you know, I don't think if we took this program away, I don't think it would change anything one bit. So,
I just recommend that we go forward with it and we can revisit it. If it's getting negative pushback or responses from the town, then I think we can address it. But until then, I don't see that we need to cancel it or curtail it in any way.
So you wouldn't even recommend, you know, let's say folks doing this in their own neighborhoods. That's something you could do.
I don't understand the stick to your neighborhood thing, Mike. What does that have to do with it?
Like I said, I've you know, I have a neighborhood Facebook, and I have friends on Facebook that are in the neighborhood, and there have been posts. So
No, but what's the gist of the post? What does somebody in your neighborhood have to do with it?
again, it's from people not people that are not following social distancing guidelines, folks that they don't recognize, kids, or even adults, but you know that are.
but there's no eggs. There's no eggs in your neighborhood, Mike. So
Huh?
there's no eggs in your neighborhood, and they're doing it anyways.
I know.
So that's the disconnect for me. I don't understand how
I just
people
think,
are doing that. They're going to do it. If they're not, they're not.
I just think it's again, it's more like we are saying as a government entity that okay, we're fine with this. You know.
I disagree with that statement, but you know, I
Okay.
appreciate you raising it. All right, so I don't think we need to belabor this all day.
I do have one thing I did want to show you guys because I'm really stoked about it. So I've spent the last like 2-3 days working on this Community Connections website. So I'll share it. I'll pull it up and share it with you guys. Screen share. Oh, give me 1 second. Thought I had it ready to go and I don't. All right, close that one and we'll go back here. So I've been working with Elder and Human Services, as well as the Conservation Committee, to come up with this Community Connections website. So it's up on the town website, it's up on the Parks and Rec website, and it's connected to Elder and Human Services as well as Conservation. But the three departments, we've all worked together to try to create content in these areas of exploring nature, online enrichment programs, senior enrichment, social interactions, and virtual travel. So we've done a lot of work of connecting things on here. So we have all of our online enrichment programs. So if we've got classes that are running, we have adult fitness programs. You can go there and find out more information. Some of the items that are on here are for pay. Some are for free, and some are kind of like asking for a donation. So, you can kind of go through here and check out all the different things that are available. But it's been a lot of work, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that's available here on the program or on this website itself. So, if you guys can get information out there to the public and let them know that, we've got this, that would be really fantastic.
That's cool. Have you asked the IT department to put that on the actual front page of the town?
It is. Yeah.
It is good. All right. Okay.
Too. Yeah.
Great. That's really good. Good work.
Nice job.
Well
Good
done.
work.
So why we have the up there, just kind of like the next thing that we were rolling out, in case anybody's interested, give yourselves or your kids an activity to do, get up in your attic, break out your Christmas lights. There's a national initiative going on right now. It's called Unite the Night. So we did Unite the Night 01460. And basically it's putting your porch light on, or putting Christmas lights in your trees, or putting luminaries in your driveway and your window. You can click on unitethenight.com to find out more information. But in each time zone, they're asking everybody to turn on their lights or the luminaries from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. just as a show of unity that we're all in this together, and the neighbors can look out the window, and rather than just see darkness and people kind of shut in their houses, they can see, the light and, just the positivity of, going through this. So it was originally the first Sunday that most of the stay-at-home orders have been put in place, but they've extended this through May 4th now, and they'll continue to extend it if necessary. So we're going to roll that out for this weekend as well. And I just ask everybody, so we can kind of see and not have people have to necessarily go out there and check it out on their own. Use the hashtags, go to our Facebook page, use hashtag Unite the Night 01460 or hashtag Stay Connected or hashtag Stay Fit. And then that way our Instagram and our Facebook will capture all of that because we're using it 01460. Make sure you put that into your hashtag. It'll capture all of our Littleton pictures, and people can use that as their base to be able to see all of this without actually having to go visit any of this.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good job, both of you.
Thanks.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded. Fred, how do you vote?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Hi.
Aye as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
You too.